Hi, this is Dr. Thomas Rocco from CBD Health Podcast. Today's guest is Rod Glupker. He is the owner of CBD Store of Michigan. It's CBDStoreMI.com and also the originator of Lake CBD. Rod, thanks for taking some time and speaking with us on CBD Health Podcast. So how are you?
I'm good.
I'm out in Rhode Island, so you're in Michigan.
Yes.
So it seems like you've had this store for a while.
Yeah. 2018. So yeah.
2018. Everything's going okay?
Yeah. Staying busy. I mean, sales have slumped a little bit. I think it's because people are just kind of deciding whether they want gas and food versus CBD. So.
Isn't that the truth? I know that's so the truth. But it looks like you got involved with doing this and getting involved with helping people understand about CBD because it helped you and your family in the past. Yep. And that's how you got into it.
Yes.
I know
it helped me.
Does your wife
greatly.
And yourself, do you still use it?
Yeah, daily.
You use it daily. Because it looks like your wife, I was reading up on a little bit about you and your family, and it seems like your wife uses it for anxiety and you use it more for pain.
Yes. Pain and seizures.
And seizures.
Yep.
I know
I've been using it for 4 years with for pain, and then learned shortly after I started using it that it's supposed to help with seizures. Mm-hmm. So I weaned off my seizure medication, and I've been seizure free ever since. I have not had one single seizure. Even when I was on seizure medication, I still had an occasional seizure.
Wow.
But since being on CBD only, I haven't touched anything pharmaceutical or over-the-counter medications, not even an aspirin in those 4 years now.
Wonderful.
And just CBD.
So with the seizures, I'm not an expert with CBD and seizures other than you should take it every day because you want to prevent it from happening rather than doing it for anxiety and pain where you take it when you need it. And
right.
So for people that take it for seizures, I tell them to take it every single day, just so you prevent those activities occurring. So that's great. You must feel better.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Being on pharmaceuticals and all of that just makes your head foggy and you just don't feel right all the time. And now I feel great. CBD is also, it's a lot of different factors that goes into it, but helps with a lot of things. So.
Oh, it sure does. If it's not pain, anxiety, like you said, it's good for seizures. It's good for general wellness. It's great for sleep. Topicals are good for any bumps and bruises or any joint pain. So it definitely has. I like to have it as an option for my patients because there are a lot that are tired of pharmaceuticals. It's just either it doesn't work or there's too many side effects to it, and there's very limited or minimal side effects with CBD. And especially taking seizure medications, the prescription, you feel a little different.
Yeah,
this is
definitely.
more natural.
I was on Keppra for many years. And it was just hard to function every day to day. Right. So being on CBD, I feel so much better.
But what I like about, us having a discussion, not only because you have a store in Michigan, was it CBD Store of Michigan? What's the website? CBDStoreMI.com. And, but I like that you offer just not the products, but education if people are interested in how to use it properly. That's the key with CBD. It's not so much just selling it, but giving people the right information to use it properly. So I truly, that's, you have like me, free consultations. You're willing to spend the time with people to educate them. Does that happen? Does that happen often? Do people usually come in or do they usually call you?
We get an occasional call, but most people just come in and want to know more about it. Just don't know anything about it, never touched the stuff in their lives. And so they just, what does it do? How is it going to help me? And we've got a little coffee section. We've got a couch, some chairs. People can sit down. We can sit with them. I've got some video stuff. I've got some reading material, and I can just sit with them and and talk to them for an hour or so, or whatever they want to know.
That's great. What's town you're in, and what like major city you're nearby in Michigan?
So we're actually in Fremont, which is about an hour north of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Nice. What are the medical, like the marijuana laws there in Rhode Island? I'm from Rhode Island. We are medicinal, and they just passed recreational, which should start at the end of the year in December.
Yeah, Michigan is medicinal and recreational. The town of Fremont that I'm in opted out, so we don't have anything in the immediate area. You have to go one town either direction. We've got small little towns all the way around us. Each of them have opted in. So
Right.
if anybody wants the THC side of products, they can go there. We have some referrals that we offer people to go to certain, but I like to send them to the local guys instead of the big conglomerates. So,
Right. Get more information. I mean, I feel marijuana has a role in medicine, and THC is, one of the cannabinoids, but CBD to me is more the medicinal part of marijuana. A pure THC product is really very recreational, but even getting a marijuana with a combination of the two, you get the best of both cannabinoids.
Right.
So I see also that you sell something called Blue Lake. Is it Blue Lake
Blue Lake
CBD?
CBD.
Is that made in
So,
Michigan?
Yes. Yep. We've had 60 different brands, 200 different products for about 3.5 years. And we decided to kind of look at each of our best-selling products and mimic it as close as possible, but try to make it even a little better, and then sell it for a little bit less.
Right.
So we came up with Blue Lake CBD, which was a combination of all of our best sellers.
Great.
And now it's our best-selling line. Of course, people will come in and ask me what I use, and I'll say Blue Lake CBD. We get a little better margins on our own product,
Right.
and it's good product. I mean, once people start using it, they continue to come back for it. So
Do you have a lot of people outside of Michigan using Blue Lake CBD?
yeah, we're actually not originally, we're from Grand Rapids area, but a few years back we moved to Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And so I have lots of friends out there. While we were out on Cape Cod, we ended up with 10 grandkids back here in Michigan. So it kind of brought us back to Michigan and moved the company back here. So
Being from Rhode Island, I'm about an hour from Cape Cod, so I understand.
I love Rhode Island. I've been out there several times.
Where in Cape Cod did you settle, or were you
Provincetown.
Provincetown? I have a
Yep.
little house way out in Truro, so it's right there.
Okay.
Town
Yep.
right before it. It's beautiful out there.
Love Truro. We started running a bed and breakfast out in on Cape Cod. We weren't owning it, we were just managers. So went out there. It was good, except the owners told us they were gonna hire us so they could travel. They never left, and it was micromanaged, and
Right.
it got to the point where I didn't want to do it anymore with them, and
Right.
we moved on, and I started looking into CBD and how I can make this into a living, and here I are.
So far, so good. You should see Massachusetts now. It's now for marijuana. It's
Right.
medical and recreational. You should see out in Cape, going through Truro. Actually, when you go from Wellfleet to Truro, there's a dispensary right there. And there's a whole bunch in Cape Cod. In the last couple of years, it's been booming out there.
When we were leaving, there was 9 different dispensaries looking to be in Provincetown, small little 2x2
Right, it's tiny.
square mile, and they wanted 9 dispensaries that we were looking at.
Right. Wow.
So yeah, I know it was gonna go like gangbusters out there, but
Well, last year with COVID kind of opening up a little bit, the week of Bear Week in Provincetown,
yeah.
it was so busy, they actually had to stop people. The police had to stop on Route 6 and told people to turn around because there was too many people in Provincetown. So I think in the summer, I think 9 dispensaries, I think that they might all do pretty well in the summer.
Yeah.
I don't know about the winter, but the summer it's crazy there.
I know Carnival Week is always a busy week
Right.
for them.
It
And
is. Yeah.
that I always have a blast going out there and watching people, and
Right.
I'm a big fan of people watching. So
Right. Provincetown's
Provincetown was great
perfect.
for that.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
No, I love going out to Truro. It's awesome. Cape Cod
Oh,
is
yeah.
great. It's so nice.
Yeah.
When I go
Love
and when I leave, I don't want to. When I get there, I don't want to leave. You know, you got to go back
Right.
to work.
Yep.
Michigan's
We do
totally
miss Cape
different
Cod.
than Michigan's so much different than Cape Cod. I lived in Wisconsin a couple of years,
Oh yeah.
and it
Yep.
is truly it's a different mentality than it is out
Yep.
in the Cape and the Northeast.
Yep.
But
I actually was running after we left the bed and breakfast. I started running Cumberland Farms, so I became a manager at. Well, I was working at the Provincetown one, and then when I became a manager, I ended up in Eastham
right.
at the newer.
I've been there. I know
Cumberland Farm.
exactly where it is. Know exactly
So
where
yeah,
it
I
is.
did that for
Across the street is Ben and Jerry's.
right. I did that for a couple of years, and it was good, but then again, it was still, I don't know, working for the man.
Right, exactly. But now, see, isn't it nice working for yourself? But the other thing
Yes.
you're doing is you're doing good. You're educating people. You're giving them the right information. You know, you're good. You have good products that are, you know, certified and you know they're the right medicine. The problem with CBD is, I think there's a lot of CBD that's out there that's not very good. And you know, you can get it at a liquor
Right.
store or a gas station, and you know, it's just like I don't think it has any effect. I think it's more mental than anything else. When
I
people
actually
take
have
it.
a Men's Health magazine. They did an article on a survey they did and found that 70% of the products out on the marketplace are not accurate with their potency.
Wow.
Some of them being 50% less potent than what they put on their label, and in some cases, 0 CBD in their CBD.
Right.
So
I know, is that
blows
great?
my mind.
It blows your mind. So that's why, I mean, you're doing the right thing. That's why I like to talk to people that are making it correctly. I've spoken to people that are growing indoors in Tennessee, outdoors in Oregon, because they have the right climate and they're doing it all right. They're testing it. There's no mold. They're getting it to the right people. They're making sure that it's fresh hemp and not something that's been sitting around for a year or two. It's nice to hear that people are doing it right. And you know, you're one of those people. You have to trust who you're getting it from. Honestly, you should treat this
Definitely.
like a medicine. You shouldn't just pick it up at any place. You know,
Yep.
people, I like to give people direction, if anything, almost like it's a prescription. And it's going to work better because dosing's
Right.
important.
Yes.
So, but the one thing, I mean, the one thing I want to ask you about having a CBD store, I have a little website. We don't have a store. And at least in Rhode Island, I see there are CBD stores. I don't see a lot of people there. Like I don't know if you get more online sales, do you get more people walking in? Like, how do you get your product out?
Our sales are better in the store than they are on our website, but we're still working on our Blue Lake line is only 6 months old.
Oh, wow.
And so that's still, our SEO is still being built and all of that.
So,
we are growing our wholesale part of Blue Lake. So I now have that in a little more than a dozen stores
great.
around the area here. So I'm just popping into health stores or anything like that and talking to them about Blue Lake CBD, and they're bringing it on. So that's kind of one factor that's keeping us above
Right.
what we call above water.
Right. It's tough now, like you said, gas and food prices are up, and this is not on the top of people's priority list. In terms of in terms of the Blue Lake, is it something you buy through your website, or is there a separate website as well for Blue Lake CBD?
We do have a Blue Lake CBD website, but we have it on our CBD Store of Michigan website also.
What's the Blue Lake?
BlueLakeCBD.com.
That's it, just BlueLakeCBD.com, because I know the other one is CBD Store MI.com, and so BlueLakeCBD.com as well. Good. because I want to look
Yeah.
more into that as well. Because I'm always looking for good products for my website. I only have a handful. I like ones that work. It's important to get the right medications for people because it can get
Right.
expensive. And the thing I like about you is you're doing a good product and you're trying to push the expense down because it can get very expensive.
Yeah, that's why we decided that we could drop our price a little bit less than the rest of the other 60 brands that we carry.
Right.
And we do look at lab tests on every single product we bring in. So we make sure there's no pesticides, molds, heavy metals,
Right.
and that the potency is accurate.
Right.
And people send me their product and tell me to try it. And I say, I need to see your lab test before I can decide on what I'm going to put in my body.
Right.
And before I put it in anybody else's body, if I'm not going to take it, I'm not going to serve it to my customer.
That's exactly
So
right.
it's important to me that your lab tests are available and that also they show that your stuff is accurate.
Right. I totally agree 100%. But people that use our websites, mainly my patients, people that trust me, they've known me, and the limiting factor is cost. It usually helps most of my patients. It's just like they can't afford it. And if it was cheaper, more people would use it. And that's, trying to do that, doing the same thing, getting the right product. And we all have to be able to keep a roof over our head. And, we have to get some money back, but it is expensive when you talk about how CBD is made. It's not something like growing tomatoes. Talking to people that grow it, it is a full harvest process. And there's so many steps to it that you understand that there is cost to it. And, but if we could somehow make this a cheaper product, I think more people would use it. And it's nice that you're doing that with Blue Lake CBD.
Yeah, trying to make it a little easier on everybody. And, we do have overhead, and we have our merchant account is a little bit more expensive than just a regular merchant account.
Right.
Our banking, all of that. Everybody has more fees for the industry we're in. So you got to take into account that we got to make up something for all of that too. And people always wonder why CBD is so expensive. Well, that's one factor.
Right.
But that's why we try to offer. We do free shipping to all 50 states.
Great.
We try to make it a little easier for people and give them a reason to use us instead of the tens of thousands of competition out there. So
right. But the nice thing you have is also you're an avenue for questions, so people can figure out like what to use before they use it, and even afterwards when they're taking it. That's what I think the key is. So, all right, great. So Rod, you're doing awesome. All right, good. I want to take a look at your the Blue Lake CBD line too.
Certainly.
You're doing all the right things. I like it. This is what we need to do as a community for CBD and marijuana, is educate each other and help each other out, because it's at least for me, a lot of my older patients are worried about getting high from it. And I always say, if you were going to get high from this, I think I'd be making a lot more money, but you're not getting high from it.
Right. I have a lot of customers that'll come in and say, I don't want to get high. I'm like, I'm not going to get you high. There's nothing here that will get you high. So, well, good. And then I have the occasional person that'll say, do you have that THC stuff in your product? No. Darn.
I know, it's funny, but there's so many misconceptions, and that's what we're trying to educate people. That's what people think. It's very funny. So
I do seminars. I go to. I've been teaching a lot of seminars. I just did one on aging well seminar. So several different speakers, and I was one to teach alternative medicine. So
wonderful. And I try to do the same thing on my free time. I was getting more reception before COVID. COVID came, and then it's absolutely has stopped. I was talking to some senior centers and some other, small hospital functions, but then COVID came and it just all stopped. And that's actually how the podcast started, just a way to kind of disseminate some information, get to talk to people. But all right, Rod, thank you for the time. I'll send you the link when I put it on the podcast. Should be done by the end of the week. But do
Okay.
good work. I'm going to definitely take a look at the Blue Lake CBD line, something that we might be
All right,
offer
sounds good.
too. All right, great, Rod. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
All right, appreciate you.